Welcome. Today, we are going to talk about architecting clarity. We're going to get into how you can take all those brilliant, maybe a little scattered ideas you have and turn them into clear, powerful, and totally convincing logic. You know that feeling, right? You have this amazing idea in your head, but when you try to explain it, it just kind of falls flat. The impact gets lost somewhere along the way. Well, you are definitely not alone, and in the next few minutes, we're going to show you exactly how to fix that for good. I mean, this visual really says it all, doesn't it? Over on the left, you've got that chaotic mess of scattered thoughts. And on the right, structured, powerful logic. Our goal here today is simple: help you move from the chaos on the left to the clarity on the right. So let's start by naming our opponent, the scattered ideas problem. This is the real reason why so many great insights end up failing. Not because the ideas are bad, but because the way they're delivered is just disorganized. And it creates this really vicious cycle. See, disorganization leads to these long, rambling explanations, which just confuses whoever you're talking to. That confusion then weakens your credibility, and poof, a brilliant idea suddenly loses all its power. So how do we solve this thing? Well, it's actually way simpler than you might think. It all comes down to one single foundational principle. One rule that changes everything. And that rule is grouping. This is it. This is the core concept, pulled from the legendary pyramid principle. Ideas at the same level must be logically grouped and ordered. This one sentence is the key to unlocking clarity, and now we're about to break down exactly what logically really means. But what makes a group logical? How do you know which ideas actually belong together in the same bucket? Well, a strong, logical group answers one single question. All the ideas inside it are related, but they're still distinct. And altogether they paint a complete picture with no obvious holes. Now, let's take this idea of grouping and turn it into something even more powerful. We're going to talk about the secret ingredient that top consultants and professionals use to make their thinking absolutely airtight. It's a little acronym called MEIS. MEIS stands for mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive. I know, it sounds a bit technical, but trust me, it's an incredibly practical way to pressure test your logic and make sure your groups are solid. Okay, the first part, mutually exclusive, is super simple. No overlap. Each of your points is completely distinct from the others. This one habit all by itself eliminates the kind of confusion that makes your audience just tune out.
In the second part, collectively exhaustive, just means you've covered all the bases. Nothing important is missing. This is what makes your logic feel robust and complete. It prevents those annoying, "but what about?" questions that can totally derail your argument.
So why does this all matter? Because when your thinking is MEIS, the way people see you completely changes. You sound clear, you sound professional. Your logic is seen as strong and complete. And honestly, you're viewed as someone who is ready for leadership.
All right, so we have the principle. Now let's get super practical. How do you actually create these logical groups out in the real world? Here's a simple toolkit with 3 powerful methods you can start using today. Think of these as your 3 go-to plays. You can group things deductively, which explains the why, like profits are down because of rising costs. Or you can group inductively, clustering similar ideas to explain the what, like our top 3 complaints are X, Y, and Z. Or you can group chronologically, which outlines the how with a step-by-step process. First we'll design, then we'll build, then we'll test.
You know, theory is great, but let's see this thing in action. We're going to look at a real-world example to see the incredible transformation from confusing chaos to absolute clarity. Okay, look at this. On the left is how most people might explain a problem. It's just a stream of consciousness. We have manpower issues, and the vendor is slow, and approvals took time. It's messy and confusing. But now, look at the right. Same exact information, but it's structured. The cost increase is driven by 3 factors. 1, 2, 3. It is instantly clear, credible, and so much more convincing. That is the power of grouping. So, let's be really direct about the payoff here. This is not just some academic exercise. Mastering structured thinking is one of the fastest ways you can accelerate your career. It's simple. Clear thinking equals professional growth. Think about it. When you communicate with this level of clarity, everything changes. Your managers start to trust your judgment implicitly. The meetings you lead get shorter and way more productive because decisions happen faster. You build this reputation for being organized, for being strategic, and ultimately for being ready for that next level of responsibility. And the best part? You can start right now. Before you write your next email or build your next presentation, just pause for a second and ask yourself, how can I group these ideas? This one simple question applies to literally everything you do. So, the key takeaway is this. Clarity is not about adding more words or throwing more data at people. It is about organizing better. Because when your thinking is structured, your message becomes undeniably powerful.
So I'll leave you with this one question to take into your next meeting, your next email, your next big pitch. How will you structure your next idea?